welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shayla. Thank you so much for joining me. So today I have a very fun tutorial for y'all. If you follow me on Whatnot, you might have seen this already. I was selling some kits to make these, but I'm going to share with everybody how to make them in case you want to try making them at home. So we are going to be making these super cute, I call them junky birds, because they're kind of just made with, different things around the house, or around your craft room. We have buttons. This is some sewing pattern paper. This is just a double-sided, like 12 by 12 or scrapbook paper. You don't have to use 12 by 12. This is actually a flower punch out that I had gotten. I'll show you. I have all of these, so gotta use them. And then I just put a cute little flat back pearl right there and made a cute little beak for it. And then this one has a googly eye, which I think is so fun. I did put some stickles to embellish. And we have this cute little, again, just a cute little sewing pattern tail. And then this one is actually a tag, so you don't have to turn it into a paper clip or alter a paper clip. You can just put it on a tag, and I actually used some trim as the tail for this one. And then I drew some little legs, which is fun. And then I made this little bird's nest out of leftover thread and some beads and put a cute little quote, and it's ready to go for a junk journal. So I'll show you how to make both of these options today. And then I kind of have a supply list going, but I'm sorry if I don't get everything. It's like once you start crafting, you start adding things, and yeah, it gets crazy. So you will need some sort of cardstock. Ideally, you want 12 by 12. If not, you can just collage on one side if it's blank, or just leave it blank, whatever your preference is. And the reason for that is because we're going to be folding these. So it's nice if they're patterned on both sides. And so I went ahead and I punched out some circles. These are big circles. You can make smaller birds with smaller circles. But I'm using a 2 3/4 of an inch punch. Just a circle punch, a good old circle punch. I feel like the bigger circle ones are harder to come by. I found this in a thrift store. So if you find one, definitely snag it. Okay. So besides the paper, I have some trim. That's one option for the tail. You can also do this is just a sewing pattern paper. And you can usually find sewing patterns, I feel like, pretty easily in thrift stores and things. This is just great. Like, it's almost like tissue paper. You could use tissue paper too. And then I have some buttons here, just a little sampling, because I did put some buttons on these. You don't have to, though. You could put like a little like a circular, flat embellishment. I just do that to cover up the messiness at the bottom there. And then I have some bling. I have colored bling. And then I have just some kind of flat back pearl looking bling. I have my thread. So if you ever have thread and you buy it at a thrift store, this is a very old spool of thread. And it just breaks, which obviously that means you can't use it in your sewing machine, or it's not really too stable for hand sewing. Don't throw it out, because you can use them to make bird's nests, and that's what I use this for. So I have this giant thing of thread, and then to complete my bird's nest, I have a little sampling of beads in here. I also put my googly eyes, and then I do have a brad in here, and I'll show you why I have that. That part is optional, although I do recommend it if you're going to be doing the trim option. Okay, and then of course extras you can have are the tag, a little flower for the eye. You don't have to use a paper flower. You could use, what are those called? The Prima flowers. Those you can easily find in craft stores, I feel like. Or you could use like a different sort of punched image or cut out your own flower. It doesn't have to be, exactly what this one is. Get creative. That's the fun part. Okay. So let's just jump into it. You'll need obviously some glue, some paper clips. I like to use the bigger paper clips. These are They're they're almost like 2 inches long. So they're just the big paper clips. And they don't have to be fancy or anything like that. Of course, if you make smaller birds, you might be able to get away with the smaller paper clip. And then, oh, for the beak, I have, nope. For the beak, I have just some not scratch paper, some paper scraps. There we go. So, and you can pick any color you want. You can make these as colorful as you wanted or as neutral. So let's just punch out some circles and see where it takes us. Okay, let me move these out of the way. I hope y'all had a wonderful Easter if you celebrated. I got to spend some time with my family. I got to see my mom. I usually don't, or you know, she lives pretty close, but we don't see each other as often, I think, as we would like. So it was really nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna punch this. There's one, and we'll do a few. I'm trying to get some of this like edge here. I think that looks cool. Okay, and let's get some blue. And I probably won't use all these, but since I'm already punching this paper, why not? All right, so we'll set this off to the side. We don't need that anymore. And I don't think we need this either. Oh, another option too is distressing your the edges of your bird. So I have some distress oxide, vintage photo, so we might play with that too. That's another option, completely optional. All right, so we'll start with this one. So it has like a pretty blue background and then the green on the other side. I think let's fold it. So all I'm gonna do, this is it. This is all you do. You just fold it. And I kind of fold it a little over halfway because I still want to have some peeking out, but obviously this is the wing. So that's, there we go. And then we have that on the back. So if you were going to make a tag version like this one, you don't need a second piece because you're going to glue it down, right? That makes sense. But if you're going to make one of these, you do need a second piece to sandwich your paper clip. So let's start with making the altered paper clip here. So I'll take another piece, and I think I'm just going to take one of these that I punched a while back. Really pretty florals. And I'm going to put this on the back. And so all I'm going to do is I am actually just going to fold it. If you can, let's see, it might be kind of hard to see. I'm just going to fold it where that other one meets. So hopefully when I cut that line, I won't need to trim anything. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut that. And let me know if y'all have any questions in the comments about, you know, any materials I use. I'm always happy to talk about the things I'm using. These are pretty good scissors. I have too many pairs of scissors though. You know, you're like, you find one at the thrift store or something, you're like, what if this one works better than, you know, than the one before or whatever. Okay, so before we glue these pieces down, and I like the back like that, before we glue the pieces down, I have to put a paper clip in the middle. So let me, where did they go? Oh, here they are. Okay, so I have my paper clip, and so ideally I want this small side here to be in front, so we have more to sandwich. So the long side will be in the back, if that makes sense. But it really doesn't matter, honestly. It's up to you. So I usually like to, I like to leave a little bit, so I'll probably glue like to right there. So I think that'll work fine. So let's go ahead and put some glue down. All right. And we're gluing. Okay. So now I'm just going to take my paper clip, put it right where I want it to go, and then we can put some glue on the other side just for extra security here. Okay. And then we're just going to sandwich. Line it up, press it down, and then now we can squish it all around so we get all of the edges sealed. And then I am using Fabri-Tac. It's just a silicone glue. It's a little stronger than your average glue, so I like to use it for altered paper clips. I think it holds pretty well, so. All right. So now we have our little bird, but it's not finished, so we need to make a little beak for it. That's the next step. So all I do for the beak, I don't really like draw an outline or anything. You totally can if you want to. I just cut little tiny triangles. So there's one tiny triangle, and then I'll cut the other one slightly smaller because that will be like the bottom triangle. So there we go. We have that. And now before we glue this wing down, there's a few things that you can do if you're feeling extra fancy. You could put some trim, like maybe starting right here, and then like some lace. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I just grabbed some lace. This is definitely too big, but just for example's sake. So you could take some lace and pretend that this lace is smaller than it is. And you could kind of put it like, if you can imagine, you could kind of put it like tucked around the edges so it looks like a little more of a wing. So that's an option before you glue it down, if you want to do that. But I'm just going to leave my bird plain. And before I glue it down, I am going to distress the edges, so that way that this little wing pops more. Okay. So then we're just going to do some light distressing here. These are junky birds, you know. They can be grungy. They can look like they're homeless. No offense to homeless people. All right. But you know, they can look like they've been around. There we go. So it looks a little more distressed now, which I like. Some people don't like to do the distressing. That's totally fine. Okay. So we have that, and we have our little beak. So we're going to go ahead and glue, and my glue's exploding. So let me grab, here, we'll just grab a little bit of this because there's a lot of it. Sometimes the glue will, you know, the air bubbles will kind of come up and make it volcano, but that's okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just glue. I'm just going to put glue on this half moon shape. Okay. Perfect. And then I'm going to take my, and while the glue's still wet, I'm going to take my little beak here. And I'm going to just kind of like play with the positioning of it. So that's one. And you could use like tweezers or something as well. Ooh. There we go. That's two. Okay. And I like the double beak. I did make one, my very first one, which I don't have with me because it was kind of a disaster. I just did one beak and I felt like you couldn't see it as well. So this one has a little tiny beak, but I kind of like that. There we go. And then I just squeeze it and those should stay glued. Just like that. So see it coming together? So now let's do the eye. So again, you could do like a prima flower, like those. Let me see if I have one. Oh, I'm reaching. This is my bucket of like miscellaneous goodies, but this is what I'm talking about. These, they're just like little flowers. So you could definitely put that and then just do like a little middle piece or something. I'd use a smaller flower, but you get the idea. Like, look at that. There's just a little tiny, it could have a tiny eye. So many different things. So that is my, let me reach back over here. That's my bucket of miscellaneous goodies on my desk. So let's find an eye. Kind of like this purple one. Something about the glitter, you know? Look at that. Who doesn't want that little cute eye? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down. Okay. And then we're just going to put it right there. So there we go. We have the cute little eye. Absolutely adorable. You could leave it like that if you really wanted to, but I can't leave it like that. So we'll do the googly eye for fun. I have a giant googly eye, and we're just going to put that googly eye right on there. And this is a fun craft you could do definitely with your kids, I feel like. I think that, you know, it's easy enough. Okay. All right, so there we go. So see it coming together, but he needs a little tail. So let's go ahead and do the tail, and we'll do the this one first, and then we'll do the trim for the next one. Okay. So for this, I'm going to scoot our little bird to the side. He can sit in the buttons. I'm going to take just a little snippet. Honestly, you really don't need much. And I'm just going to cut it off here. And I like when it has text, but today we're just going to chop off a piece. Make it easy. Okay. So see, that was barely anything. You have so much left over. I love the wrapping paper. It's just a great like texture. It's great for all sorts of stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to do an accordion fold. And let me show you what I mean. Okay, so an accordion fold is basically, and you've probably done this in school, I would imagine, where you fold it once. So I'm folding it towards me. Or I'm folding it away from me. Okay, folding it away from me, make a fold. Flip it over, and then fold it towards you, and then make a crease. And then do that again until you reach the end here, which this one's a little crinkly, so it's kind of hard, but there we go. Okay, so I folded that, and now I have, once you open it up, you have kind of this cute little like accordion fold. So I'm going to chop this because I don't need that much. There we go. This is just extra. And I'm going to take my bird. And let's see, let me zoom in. So I'm going to take my bird, and then now I have this, but I want it to like stay feathered out a little bit. So I'm just going to fold it like so. Okay. So I just folded the bottom, and you can just play with this. You can crinkle it up and make it all scraggly looking. It really doesn't matter. So there we go. We have that. I'm going to chop off the bottom here just because I don't want to use too big of a button to cover up my fold. So I'm going to just cut that off. Okay. And then now we're going to put the tail on. So all I'm going to do is put some glue down at the bottom here of the bird, and then we're going to put a button over it so you won't even see the little fold part. So put that down, and then from here you can kind of just manipulate it to be, you know, whatever, like however you want it to be there. You can just kind of fold it, twist and fold till you get the right look. So I like how it looks here, but obviously we have this spot that we need to cover, so that's where the buttons come in. So I'm just going to pick a button that I feel like would go well. And this is just a random sampling from my button bin. kind of like that blue one. Let's look a little more. I know it's always fun looking at buttons. What is this one? It's like a shell button. Let's see. That's cute. We have a really bright, ooh, kind of like the bright one. Okay. We could do that, or we could do this yellow. See, now I'm like, there's too many options. I think I'm going to go with the red. Why not? Make them colorful. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue this button down. You could use whatever hot glue, I don't know, some glue that glues plastic. This seems to hold plastic, so I use it. At least for me it does. Okay. So there is our little bird. Oh my goodness. So cute. Who doesn't want to put that on a journal? Oh my goodness. And then one other thing you could do is you could fold these up like this. Okay, just fold them. And then just do a downward snip. Okay, that way, when you fluff it open a little bit, you have this little, like, I don't know if you can see the zigzag. There you go. So that is one done. We made one together. I hope you made one with me. So let's move on to the next one. I think he turned out so cute. Okay, so same process. We have, we're gonna be making this one now. This one's a little more involved because we have two parts to it, but I think in building the bird, it's a little easier. So we're gonna use this one and make it like a little romantic bird, if you will. So I'm just gonna take this and we're just gonna fold it. Perfect. And then now I'm gonna distress it. That's the next step. Okay. So again, just gonna come through here. This will be like a little romantic bird. That's my idea anyway. Okay. Did that. And remember, we don't need a second piece because we're gluing it down. So there we go. We have the little bird, or the bird body. Now we need to do the beak again. Oh, almost lost my dauber. So now we're just gonna again cut out two little beaks. That one's a little big. There we go. And if you have a lot of scraps, this is a great way to use up some of your scraps. Okay, there we go. All right, and then now we're gonna do the same process of the gluing. So, and I'll still glue the back side of the bird where the tail will go, but I'll be a little light on the glue, only because I know I'm gonna put a brad through it. I don't want to get glue all over everything. Okay. Let's see here. There's no glue right there. Okay. Take two. So we'll put that down. And then we're going to put the next one. And I'm just kind of, we can move them around a little bit as needed. Perfect. So we have that. Could scoot this up a little. There we go, just like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our bird eye. And since this one is a romantic bird, I want it to have like a cute eye. Maybe what if we just did white? That's kind of cool. It's like a textured white. So we'll think about it. I also have, again, I have this, I like that one. I have a pink. That one might be a little too bright. I'm going for a classy ladybird. Okay, I don't know what that one is. Some of these are really cool. Some of them are actually, like this one I used for this bird. That's actually from a playing card. They punched it out of a playing card, which I thought was really neat. Okay, maybe let's just dump some out and we'll just find one together. There's this pretty one. I'm kind of liking the white one, so let's just go with the white. I'll be here all day. And again, like I said, if you don't have a big punch and you're like, oh, well, I just can't do this project, you could definitely use a smaller circle punch. You definitely, or you could trace. What you can do is take a glass or like take a jar and just trace a circle and cut it out freehand style. They don't have to be super perfect or super circular, you know. We're made in all shapes and sizes. Why can't birds? So I am going to ink this up because I feel like it would make it look really cool. Just barely, not too much. Okay, so there we go. Inked that up, and we're just going to put that eye down just like that. All right. Oh, it was actually just the back. That's so funny. I thought that was the style of this one. Okay. So putting that down there. And then sometimes if you get extra glue, you can just kind of wipe it off. But in my case, I don't really need to because I'm going to be gluing this down. So it doesn't even matter. So there we go. We have that bird. I do think the bird needs an eye. And I was thinking maybe we try one of these pink little flatbacks here. Let's see how it looks. Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. She's fabulous. Okay. We're just going to put a little dot of glue. Okay. Oh, and this is the hard part. Perfect. There she is. All ready to go. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and punch a hole right here so we can put our trims through. And I will say the reason this time around I am going to be using an eyelet is because the first time I made one of these with the trim, it was so bulky that I actually ended up ripping the edge of the bird. It was fixable, but I'm going to try and avoid that this time. So let me pull out my crocodile. I think that's what these are called. I don't know anymore. And that is a big eyelet, so we'll use the big. And this is, oh, sorry, you can't see. So all I'm going to do is just put a little punch right here, pretty close to the edge. And then I'm going to stick my eyelet through. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? You could even just do the eyelet and then like have it dangling as like a little journal charm. Oh my gosh, stop. So cute. Okay, so now I'm going to have to squeeze this little eyelet down so it's nice and secure. And done. Just like that. So now my paper should hopefully be protected in case I pull the trim, and it won't hopefully break my paper. Okay, so I have 3 little trims here. This is just some sari silk. I just cut off some little pieces, and now I'm gonna have to put both of these through this hole here. So let me think about that. This is where it gets tricky. Okay. So I'm going to have to use a little tool. I have a fabulous little, it's called a pokey tool. It's all blinged out. I actually got this on Whatnot. I have my link below. If you want to sign up, you get some money to spend if you use my link. So it's kind of a nice little intro. But there's such a great, I mean, I can't say enough about Whatnot. There's such a great little community on Whatnot for sellers as well as buyers in the junk journal world. I feel like sometimes it's really hard to find junk journal things that are, not overinflated because the website they're selling them on is taking so much commission from them, which is unfortunate. So I really like Whatnot because I feel like they don't have too much of that. Like I feel like for the most part, people are pretty happy on there with everything. So I'm just having issues here. Let's just try 2. We'll try 2 as I'm poking holes all in it. So I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to twist a little bit so that way it's maybe a little skinnier. Okay, so 2 seems like it's going to work fine. Okay, pulling it through, pulling it through, pulling it through. Awesome. Okay, so I got my, and then now I just need to find where the hole is for both of these. We can pull it a little more. There we go. So you see where the hole is, like in the middle there. So I'm just gonna take these, and sorry, that is a cat hair because my cat gets in my fabric bin at night. I'm sure if you have a cat and you have a craft area, you understand. Okay, so I'm pulling this and I'm pulling. All right, we're getting there. Okay, is that going to be it? Let me fix it a little bit on this side. I think I might have done it backwards. That's okay. Still looks really cute. Doesn't matter. As long as you're happy with it. So if you wanted the knot, see the knots on that side, you could just put it in this way and then instead of me going through the back. But that's okay. I don't mind. It's all right. I could maybe tuck. Let's see if I can tuck it. No. You know what? It doesn't bother me. We're just going to go with it. Okay. I still think it's really cute. Look at her. I'm going to trim this one a little bit because it's a little long. Oh, she's adorable. How would you not like that? All right, so let's go ahead and get her on a tag. Let me see. I have this actually playing card. It's a vintage playing card, or a vintage flash card, should I say. So let's go ahead and put her on there. And maybe I'll cover up that. I'll cover up this part. So it'll be like that. Okay, let's ink up the edges first. It's a little already, it's naturally distressed, but I don't mind it being slightly grungy. Okay, there we are. Perfect. Nice little frame there. And you could do so many things. Like I have this little scrap of vintage wrapping paper. You could totally, put her on there. She could just be hanging out. I don't know. All kinds of things. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue her down. So I'm just going to put glue all over the back here. I usually don't glue this part down. Just because there's no need really. So we're just going to glue all of her down. Make sure we get a good amount of glue. Okay. So we're going to Put her down just like that. My country coming out here. Perfect. Oh, she's so cute. You could just leave her like that. You know, she doesn't need legs, but you can draw legs. I'm not the best, but let me pull out. You can use like a micron pen. I have a fabulous just Sharpie. And let me double check that it works. It does. And so all I do is I just kind of, I like one of her legs to be bent, so we'll do that. Just a little bent leg. And then, you know, her other leg can be, there you go. Both of her legs are bent. And then we'll just do some little feet. Again, I'm not perfect at this, so, and you could like, you know, obviously her legs are a little skinny, so we could do like a, there we go. She has like little pantaloons on or something. So there's that. Super cute. But she looks a little lonely, right? She needs a nest. So we're going to make the bird's nest. This part is optional. You could just leave it like that. You could put a cute little word and call it a day. But I'm going to just take some string. So I'm not really measuring. I'm just gathering like a good little bit of string. And I'm just going to, and again, that's really this type of string, the string that just breaks, is really good to save for bird's nests. So now I have my little string, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bunch it up. We're just going to bunch it up just like that. And I kind of like to tuck these little loose pieces in to where you make like a little bird's nest. See? Just like that. And now I'm going to take my bird's nest and I'm going to glue it down. And I think her nest would be right here. She's a protective mama. This is her little nest. So I just put some glue down. And then I'm just going to smoosh my bird's nest down. And hope for the best. That's what I say. So we're just going to hold it down for a minute. So hopefully that glue will catch those fibers. And look at that. It's so cute, isn't it? But she does need a little, her nest is empty. So let's give her some little babies yet to be hatched. So I have some beads. These are just some little faux pearl beads. They are vintage, so they are kind of nice and aged looking. And then I have, we might see about a random bead. But again, these beads are pretty small. You want small beads. You could use seed beads. Or like tiny little kind of pearl beads, or you could just have one big bead, like just maybe one blue, you know, bead, and she has like a little blue egg or something. Really just whatever you want. That's the fun thing with these little junky birds. You can use all sorts of colors and they all seem to kind of go pretty well together. But you know, cut up an old necklace if you need to, as long as it's not fancy. Don't cut up your grandmother's real pearl necklace. She won't be happy about that. So we have these little pearls. I'm going to just play with it and see which ones I like. I grabbed this one because I thought it was interesting looking. So let's see. I feel like it's a little big for the nest. So I'm going to say no to that one. But I think 2 of these little pearl ones will be great. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue in the middle. And then I'm just going to put the pearls down and we're just going to hold them down for a minute. Okay, just like that. And now we place these right on top. And I'm just going to give them a little squish because then that also the glue seeps down and it kind of helps the bird's nest not be so puffy. So we're just holding that down. Yes, I know I have a glue string right there. All right. Perfect. That looks good to me. So now we have our little bird card. And I could put a hole here and make it into a tag. You could turn this into a cute little pocket for your journal. So all sorts of creations. I really hope that you guys made some cute little birds with me today, or you were inspired to make your own thing. You guys inspire me every day. I actually made this video because of y'all's feedback on my last one. So please leave me a comment. I do read them. Leave me some feedback. Leave me your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams. I read them all. But I hope you had fun today. I hope you made something fun, and I hope you always stay crafty. Until the next one, bye guys.